So Dairy Management Incorporated, along with ZS, recently conducted new research on children, both in home and in school. And I wondered if you two could share a little bit with us about what did the research show?
Things. First, there's a symbiosis between dairy and schools and retail. The experience in one impacts the other. And again, we can get into this more in a bit. But importantly, growing dairy in schools isn't just about impacting dairy sold into the school channel. It's about what happens at retail too. Second, the biggest opportunity to grow in the school channel is on the product experience side of milk specifically. And we can get into how this research gets pretty specific about what elements of the product experience can really be improved. And then that nutrition education is really a white space in schools today. It's not really happening, and that's according to students, parents, and to school administrators and educators that we interviewed. So there's really an opportunity to improve nutrition education. And we also understand from this research that it is a driver of student consumption of dairy in the school channel. And last, and again, we'll go in more detail in a bit, there is an opportunity to drive consumption of milk in schools, specifically through greater participation in breakfast programs.
That's great. That's always been very important to a dairy farmer. I'm producing a wholesome, healthy, and nutritious and delicious product, and taking it to schools and making a good experience for the children is very important to dairy farmers because, not only for their health, but they're our future consumers. So, Anne, maybe you could share a little bit more on that for us.
Sure. Well, as you said, Audrey, milk and dairy have always played a critical role in schools. Thanks a lot to the investment of dairy farmers like you. But as we looked at the school environment, particularly today, and while we recognize that schools are still the primary place where kids are getting access to healthy meals, particularly milk, there are all kinds of new pressures on schools and their ability to serve milk and dairy, to teach about dairy's nutrition. There are pressures on food service staff, their ability to provide meals. There's pressures on schools to give different options to kids. Kids are coming in with totally different expectations on food and beverages. And then, of course, we know that there are a lot of pressures in classrooms from those who would want to spread misinformation about animal agriculture, about dairy. So we really needed a new approach to ensuring that dairy was going to maintain that place that dairy farmers have created in schools. But let's just talk a minute about what's at stake here, because I know, Audrey, you're as passionate about this as I am. The reality is that most kids by age 4 are not getting the recommended servings of dairy. And the most common nutrient deficiencies in kids are iron, calcium, vitamin D, zinc, all things that we know milk and some dairy products provide, not to mention a critical source of protein that we know kids need in order to succeed in school, academically, in after-school sports, and all the things that they want to do. So this isn't just a concern about dairy and its ability to show up. This is a public health concern. This is about setting healthy habits for, as you said, that next generation for consumers. So, our staff, the staff that work for you, Audrey, and all the other dairy farmers, they're in schools. They see this happening. They've been on the front line. You've seen this in schools, but we really needed some clear research that was going to demonstrate to others outside of our dairy community that we needed to make a difference in schools so kids were able to get the nutrition that dairy provides. And this research has really let us get to the heart of what's at stake if we don't act urgently.